Possibly the most interesting aspect about the 8-bit version of Sonic 1 is that it shares so many similarities with its 16-bit counterpart. Unlike its successor Sonic 2, it shares half of its 6 zones with its bigger home console sibling, and as we'll learn, may once have been even more. The presence of Marble Zone's background music was discovered by Retro Tech member Croc in November 2013. Nestled in the ROM of the Master System version of the game at hex offset 0CB0A, let's give it a listen. If you didn't know, the music for Sonic 1 8-bit was created by Yuzo Koshiro, the man behind the soundtrack for the legendary Streets of Rage. Koshiro and his family ran a game studio called Ancient. They developed the 8-bit version of Sonic 1. The music is part of mounting evidence that Marble Zone was once meant for inclusion in the game. Graphics for the Badnik Batbrain were also found. Furthermore, in the original Master System game, the initial palette for Bridge Zone, which never shows up during normal play because it's overridden by a cycling palette, is slightly different, with one color of green being replaced with lavender. Could this be a leftover palette from Marble Zone? The cutting room floor also lists these pillars for Labyrinth Zone. They have no equivalent in the 16-bit version of the game, at least not in Labyrinth Zone. As you may know, 16-bit Marble Zone is home to similar pillars, and it's not unreasonable to speculate that these pillars may have made it into both Labyrinth and Marble Zone had the 8-bit version of the game had both zones. Additionally, if you look closely at the background for Bridge Zone, you will see it uses a similar style of trees and mountains to that of Marble Zone. It's also the second zone in the game, just like Marble Zone. In 2016, Yuzo shared a few development documents for Sonic 1, showcasing the original line art for South Island as well as layouts for Jungle, Bridge, and Green Hill Zone. There exists concept art for a final boss fight that never made it into the 16-bit version of Sonic 1, or the 8-bit version for that matter, but these unused tiles for Sky Base Zone look like they were intended for that boss fight. In fact, the concept art looks a little bit like Sky Base Zone itself, and of course it's something we would revisit in the form of Flying Battery Zone and Wing Fortress Zone. Robotnik even hops in an airplane to escape his inevitable loss. It makes me wonder if Skybase or a variant of it was planned for Sonic 1 16-bit. It's pretty cool that potentially Sonic Team had the idea for a Wing Fortress Zone even back then. Another theory some fans hold is that Skybase Zone actually evolved from the 8-bit version of Starlight Zone. Since Sonic 2 8-bit was released a month before the main Genesis version, it actually holds the distinction of being the first game that released with both Tails and a robotic version of Sonic, Mecha Sonic to be specific. It is also the first game in the series to have a final level, Crystal Egg, that only appears upon getting the 6 Chaos Emeralds. Yes, this game only has 6 Chaos Emeralds. There are some pretty interesting graphics from Sonic 2 8-bit. Check out this sprite of Tails crying. Tails actually has a pretty complete tile set for a non-playable character, leading some to believe he was intended as a playable character but cut for time purposes. If it were true, it'd match up with its 16-bit counterpart, that much better. This monitor can be found in the game. It's a Continue monitor, the only occurrence of such a monitor in any Sonic game that I'm aware of. The thing is though, the actual graphic is obscured in game, so while you can smash the monitor and get the Continue, you never actually see the monitor sprite shown. There are also monitors with a question mark icon, which may have been intended to deliver a random power-up and a gray sneaker, which if I had to guess, would have made the player slower. There are also these scans, which show a different floor in Aqua Lake Zone. This unused water slope was fully implemented, allowing Sonic to slide down it as he does in Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1. Speaking of Aqua Lake Zone, anyone remember that Sonic fan game, Sonic Nexus, which basically remade Aqua Lake Zone in an early version of Sonic Worlds? That was way back in 2007, which is still over a decade after the level first appeared in Sonic 2. Sky High Zone received some pretty significant graphical changes during its development. These pre-release screenshots show the zone sporting a look more akin to Green Hill Zone than that of the 16-bit Emerald Hill Zone with its more beveled checker patterns, which we would see in the final game. Likewise, Green Hill Zone, with an S, went through a similar transformation. sporting the same checker pattern, different trees, and check out that pig. In 2014, a prototype build of Sonic 2 8-bit was released, called the Sonic 2 Auto Demo because the demo plays itself. It shows off the prototype Green Hill Zone as seen in magazine scans, as well as portions of Sky High and Underground Zone. The demo was hacked to create a playable version which you can download on the Sonic Retro Wiki. The hacked version showcases some fairly broken physics, especially for loops. This would be the first time loops appeared in an 8-bit Sonic game, having been completely absent from Sonic 1. From January 1991 to June 1993, Sega released a series of promotional VHS tapes in Japan known as the Sega Shinsaku Soft Video Series. In the 23rd volume, there is early promotional footage from Sonic 2. It shows off an early version of Sky High with the checkerboard pattern. The level in this version of the game is also called Sky High Zo, spelled like the greeting, H-I instead of H-I-G-H. Aqua Lake still has differences too, sporting its checkerboard pattern as Sky High does. Sonic 2 8-bit does have a few unique pieces of promotional art to go along with the release of the game, including one of Tails being tied as he is in the game. There's also artwork for Dr. Robotnik and Mecha Samus. The Western cover for Sonic 2 features Bird and Bee Badniks. Hold up, birds and bees? And they don't even appear in the game. Somebody's heading to horny jail. It's unknown if these were ever planned or just made up for the box art. Cool Jerk from Sonic Retro has some pretty interesting points about Sonic 2 that he made in a post back in 2014. He poses several questions. Why isn't Green Hill Zone the first level in the game? Why is Toot Toot Sonic Warrior used as music? Why are there no speed shoes in the game? Why no special stages? Is it possible that the reason Sonic 2 8-bit is so difficult and different than the rest of the series is because it was incomplete at the time of release? There is an Easter egg in Sky High Zone which causes some hidden birds to appear. When the player jumps to the left of the 1-up monitor at the top of Sky High Zone Act 1, the birds will appear. Join GameFAQs Special to support the creation of more Sonic lore videos just like this one, and access our exclusive library of member-only episodes. The first member will get to choose a game for us to do an episode on, and we'll take ideas from other members too. Thanks for watching. This has been a GameFAQs Special.